Afternoon folks, BestInSlot here with your promised possible dinosaur update, and I'm glad I waited to do this video because since this time yesterday yet another potential dinosaur has been discovered. We're going to take a look at both of them and talk about their possible implications for evolution, but first of all, credit to Siakas and Hiplobanoxa, which I hope is how you pronounce that, I thought that was pretty slick, for getting these images in the first place. Second of all, before we get started, it's worth taking absolutely everything here with a humongous handfuls of salt, ladies and gentlemen. Not even just a pinch of salt. Whatever your favourite type of salt is. Do people have a favourite type of salt? Probably. People are weird. Nothing here is confirmed. Nothing is definite, and getting hyped up or disappointed based on things in this video is not a good idea. As always, just wait for official Frontier confirmation. I'm just kind of bringing you the news, basically. Let's have a look at the first one then. It's exciting, right? A bunch of lovely nonsense. What we're looking at here is basically a simple file search on evolution. Now these are files that literally everybody who owns the game has and owns these files. You can even look at them with the likes of Notepad if you know where to look. It's just easier with a searching program of some form. This is similar to the way we discovered the Euoplocephalus in the past. Of course, the highlighted dinosaur here is instead Kronosaurus, and we're going to take a look at that dinosaur in a lot more detail in a moment, but we do want to take a look at the second dinosaur first. And it's, basically the same thing again. This time instead it's a Pocky Rhinosaurus. We've been assured that Pocky Rhinosaurus was not found in the game files prior to the last update, so this is something that's been added fairly recently. It's also interesting to note that Kronosaurus, Euoplocephalus and Pocky Rhinosaurus all found through different files and different directories. Whilst these aren't obvious false finds like the Mosasaurus and stuff like that is, they're linked to voice lines or they're linked to the InGen files in the game, they're also definitely not fully implemented into the game either. So again, handfuls of salt. Let's talk about these two dinosaurs though, and for the sake of the video, we'll speculate as though they're real along with the Euoplocephalus, and we're going to make a couple of deductions at the end from there. First of all then is Kronosaurus, an Asian hadrosaur that has basically no history at all with the Jurassic Park franchise, beyond appearing in some of those dinosaur encyclopedias they put out every now and again. It is also, for all intents and purposes, basically identical to the existing Parasaurolophus. Though admittedly, all we have for the Kronosaurus is a partial skull as evidence. We really don't have much on this dinosaur. On the face of it, that doesn't make Kronosaurus a particularly interesting dinosaur. If anything, you'd say it's a pretty weird inclusion because our current Parasaurolophus, which was a North American dinosaur, with some hints it was found in Asia, but really we know it as a North American dinosaur, was actually found in Jurassic World Evolution in the Nemegt Formation in Asia, one that could have been a close approximation for a Kronosaurus dig site instead, so it's a little bit of a weird situation. Now if you Google Kronosaurus, you'll actually get a lot of designs that look like this, ones with elaborate and, in my opinion, some pretty awesome looking skin flaps between the crest and some sail-like effects on the back every now and again. Now the scientific reasoning behind these crests and these flaps and stuff like that is weak at best. Basically, a Canadian paleontologist named William Parks, who was the man responsible for naming the taxa in the first place, hypothesized that there was a skin between the crest and the neck to help support the weight of the crest. Now I haven't found a hint of actual evidence for this beyond that, but people have been running with the idea in their designs for the many decades since his death. And I'm pretty okay with it. Deinonychus is one of my favourite dinosaurs in evolution, despite looking absolutely nothing like a Deinonychus. If Kronosaurus is going to be in the game, then it's going to need something to differentiate it from the Parasaurolophus, otherwise, well, what would be the point, basically? I think Frontier could have a lot of fun if they went in this direction. The scientific backing isn't brilliant, but it doesn't have to be. We've got the Parasaurolophus, now let's have a more fun variant. That takes us onto Pocky Rhinosaurus. Pocky Rhinosaurus, a late Cretaceous ceratopsid from North America, does actually have a little bit of history with the Jurassic Park franchise. It's appeared in games and stuff in the past, but it was also the dinosaur that was eventually taken over by Sinoceratops in the Fallen Kingdom film and subsequent toy line. Even in the first trailer for Fallen Kingdom, it was known to be a Pocky Rhinosaurus, and some of the Pocky Rhinosaurus toys out there, or the ones coming out, have the same colour scheme and design pattern as the Sinoceratops. It's all a little bit weird. Pocky, despite being yet another ceratopsid, is again potentially a pretty interesting dinosaur for Jurassic World Evolution. Not only does it have a rather bizarre small frill with its curling points of horn going off in odd directions, but it doesn't have the typical nasal horn you'd associate with the Ceratopsidae family. This would make it unique amongst Evolution's ceratopsids, and also, you'd imagine, guarantee some unique animations for the dinosaur. Currently, the ceratopsids kill opposition dinosaurs with this brutal horn attack. It gets a little weird looking sometimes, but it's pretty cool. Again, they like stab up inside them and stuff like that. That would not be a possibility for the Pocky Rhinosaurus because it doesn't have a horn, so it'd have to do something else. Maybe it would have to, like, you know, ram into people or something. So, 2 of our new potential dinosaurs. Again, remember the salt people. Not the salt people. The salt people sound terrifying, but you get me. Anyway, if we assume these 2 are true, and also assume the Euoplocephalus is true, and we further assume that Frontier don't decide to change tack based on these leaks. And again, I use that term with big inverted commas because, as I say, these are files we all literally have in our game. Basically, is it really a leak? Then they're actually quite an interesting proposition, an interesting couple of dinosaurs. First of all, and this is why, that's 3 herbivores, okay, if we include the Euoplo. We of course recently had a carnivore pack, and it would make a little bit of sense to balance the dinosaur roster out in favour of the herbivores a little bit more. If not in quantity, then actually in quality. Now what I mean by that is, since the release of Jurassic World Evolution last year, we're nearly at the year anniversary by the way, we'll have to do something on that, we've had 4 updates with dinosaurs. We've had the Fallen Kingdom update, Dr. Wu, Cretaceous Dinosaur Pack, and the Carnivore Dinosaur Pack. The first 3 packs had 1 dinosaur with unique animations, the Indoraptor, the Troodon, and the Iguanodon. Whilst the recent Carnivore pack, the best pack we've had, in my opinion, had all 3 dinosaurs with unique animation. Did the Spinoraptor have unique animations? Maybe it was 2. Anyways, had all 3 dinosaurs with unique animations. What that means is we've had 5 carnivores, or 6, with brand new animations and only 1 herbivore, the Iguanodon. And I think most people would agree that the Iguanodon is one of the best dinosaurs in the entire game. It came 2nd in my own dinosaur ranking, or 3rd, either way it was very, very high up. The point is, carnivores have been shown a lot of love, and coming up with some interesting, colourful and unique herbivores would be a great step for our dinosaur roster. Secondly, and this is a whole lot more speculative in what is already a speculative video, so, you know, pretty unlike me, I know. There was of course the whole 4chan leak malarkey recently. I still don't put much stock in it, at least until we find out what this summer DLC is going to be. But it is suggested that one of the focuses was going to be on paleobotany in the DLC, and some more complex feeding mechanisms for our herbivorous dinosaurs. If that were going to be true, wouldn't it make a lot of sense to release a bunch of new herbivores alongside the DLC? It's just some food for thought. Herbivore food for thought, huh? I'm so sorry. Anyway, there we go. I know some people will actually be a little disappointed at these possible inclusions because in some ways they aren't too different from what we already have. But not only is this all absolutely speculation, and not only should we absolutely be waiting for official confirmation before passing any real judgment, we haven't seen the designs or animations yet, and they really have got better and better over time. I think we'd all agree that the Carnivore pack is much, much better than the Cretaceous pack, despite it containing the Iguanodon. I personally quite like the idea of a Kronosaurus with this elaborate frill work and a thick Pocky Rhinosaurus, because I need more fat dinosaurs, acting more like a rushing bull than the current ceratopsids do with their weaponry. I do think we'll find out about the summer DLC relatively soon, probably next Tuesday if I had to wager a guess. So we'll probably find out pretty sharpish what is on the way. If it is the same as Dr. Wu, however, then we'd expect 5 dinosaurs rather than 3, if it's a big paid story DLC and it follows the same pattern. Now, there were already rumours of a Rhinoceros making it into the game, but if the 5th slot does indeed go to a herbivore rather than the, say, rumoured Albertosaurus, or it could even be a Mosasaurus, that was rumoured as well, then I would like them to go in a slightly different direction. There's a problem at the moment with the herbivore roster in that it's very big. We only really have 3 small herbivores in the game, and they're all the Pachycephalosaurids, the Dracoryx, the Pachycephalosaurus, and the Stygimoloch. I'd really like to see like a Protoceratops or something, just a smaller version of what we already have. Just something to mix up the roster a little bit for the herbivores, because they can feel a little bit samey, especially with the Hadrosaurs and the Iguanodontids. Anyways, until then, hit the like button if you found this video informative or entertaining. Yes, I did script every single one of those terrible jokes. Subscribe for obsessive amounts of Jurassic World Evolution content, and I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love, and as always, bye-bye. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help support me a little bit more, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. There's a link in the description down below. Every little really does help in times like these, but it's not at all expected, and by just watching the video you've already helped me out massively, and it makes you a pretty cool person, so well done you. Thanks for joining me either way, I'll see you next time.